is a land of astonishing contrasts and natural wonders. Stretching from the Atlantic to the Pacific and north to the Arctic Ocean, it is a country defined by its sheer size, diverse landscapes, and countless hidden treasures. From towering mountains and vast forests to millions of pristine lakes and the world's longest coastline, Canada's geography is as breathtaking as it is unique. Whether you're curious about its extreme climates, record-breaking features, or remarkable ecosystems, these amazing geography facts reveal just how extraordinary Canada truly is. In this collection of amazing geography facts about Canada, you'll discover the wonders that make this country so unique. Get ready to explore the extremes, the hidden gems, and the natural marvels that define the true North, strong and free. First, second largest country on Earth. Covering an immense area of about 3.85 million square miles, Canada is the second largest country in the world, surpassed only by Russia. To put this in perspective, Canada is larger than the entire European Union and about 30 times the size of Vietnam. Its territory stretches from the 49th parallel along the US border, all the way north into the remote Arctic regions, including the vast Arctic archipelago with tens of thousands of islands. Despite spanning nearly 10 million square kilometers, Canada is home to only about 40 million people, most of whom live in a narrow band along the southern border. This means vast portions of the country remain untouched wilderness, filled with millions of lakes, old-growth forests, and remarkable wildlife. Canada's enormous scale isn't just a geographical statistic. It shapes the nation's character. From the remote communities of the far north to the cosmopolitan cities of the south, the sense of space and natural grandeur influences every part of Canadian life. From deep bays like Hudson Bay to the highest peaks such as Mount Logan, Canada is a land of breathtaking variety and awe-inspiring geography, earning its reputation as one of the world's most extraordinary countries. 2. The longest coastline. Besides the large size, Canada is also home to the longest coastline on Earth, measuring over 125,000 miles. This remarkable stretch of shorelines touches three major oceans: the Atlantic, Pacific, and Arctic, making Canada the only country bordered by all three. If a person tried to walk the entire coastline without stopping, it would take decades to finish. The coastline itself is incredibly diverse, ranging from the storm-lashed cliffs of Newfoundland and Labrador in the east to the lush, misty fjords of British Columbia's Pacific coast and the frozen, windswept shores of the Arctic. Along these vast edges, you'll find everything from quiet, sandy beaches and salt marshes to towering sea stacks, dramatic headlands, and permafrost coasts where the land literally melts into the sea each summer. Canada's coastal regions support rich marine ecosystems, including some of the world's most productive fishing grounds, critical bird nesting areas, and habitat for whales, seals, and countless other species. The coastline has also shaped Canadian history and identity. It was the first place reached by European explorers, and today, many communities and cultures. Third, 60% of the world's lakes. One of Canada's most astonishing geographic features is that it contains more than 60% of all the lakes on Earth. In fact, the country has an estimated 2 million lakes, ranging from tiny ponds hidden in northern forests to enormous inland seas. Two of the largest, Lake Superior and Lake Huron, are among the biggest freshwater lakes in the world, each covering tens of thousands of square kilometers. Altogether, Canada's lakes hold almost 9% of the world's renewable fresh water. These countless bodies of water are not only spectacular to see, but they also play a critical role in shaping the landscape, regulating climate, supporting biodiversity, and sustaining communities. Lakes provide vital habitat for fish, birds, and mammals, as well as clean drinking water for millions of Canadians. They are also central to recreation, culture, and the economy, attracting visitors who come to canoe, fish, or simply admire their beauty. From the deep blue of the Great Lakes to the crystal-clear glacial lakes tucked into the Rockies, Canada's astonishing abundance of fresh water is part of what makes its geography so unique and valuable. Fourth, extreme latitudes. Stretching across some of the most extreme latitudes on the planet, Canada's latitudes span from about 41 degrees north at its southernmost point on Middle Island in Lake Erie to 83 degrees north at Cape Columbia on Ellesmere Island. which is just 477 miles from the North Pole. This enormous north-south range means Canada includes nearly every major climate zone, from temperate rainforests on the Pacific coast and fertile farmlands in the south to vast boreal forests, tundra, and polar deserts in the Arctic. In the far north, winter can bring months of continuous darkness, while summer offers round-the-clock daylight known as the midnight sun. These extremes create incredible contrasts. Some regions can reach 104 degrees Fahrenheit in summer, while others plunge below negative 58 degrees Fahrenheit in winter. The variety of latitude also shapes Canada's rich biodiversity, supporting everything from giant old-growth cedar trees and prairie grasslands to caribou herds and polar bears. This vast span of latitudes doesn't just define Canada's geography. It influences its culture, economy, and the everyday life of people who have learned to thrive across one of the widest ranges of environments on Earth. 5. Home to the world's largest island, inside a lake on an island. The country is famous for its mind-bending geography, and one of the best examples is Manitoulin Island in Ontario. Located in Lake Huron, Manitoulin is the largest island in a freshwater lake anywhere on Earth, covering about 1,068 square miles. It's bigger than some countries. What makes it even more remarkable is that Manitoulin itself contains over 100 lakes, including Lake Manitou, which is the largest lake on an island in a lake. Even more astonishing, Lake Manitou has its own islands, meaning Canada is home to an island, in a lake on an island in a lake. This unique layering of land and water fascinates geographers and visitors alike. Beyond its record-breaking status, Manitoulin Island is a place of rich indigenous culture, peaceful beaches, and beautiful hiking trails. 6. Giant tides in the Bay of Fundy. Canada's Bay of Fundy, located between the provinces of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, is famous for having the highest tides in the world. Every day, more than 160 billion tons of seawater rush in and out of the bay, causing the water level to rise and fall by as much as 52 feet, taller than a 4-story building. These giant tides are caused by the bay's unique funnel shape and the way the Atlantic Ocean's tidal waves resonate perfectly with its length, creating a powerful natural effect called tidal resonance. When the tide is out, vast mudflats and sea cliffs are exposed, and when it returns, the bay fills dramatically in just a few hours. This cycle supports rich ecosystems, including huge flocks of migrating shorebirds and some of the world's most productive tidal marshes. 7. A desert in British Columbia. While Canada is famous for snow-covered mountains and icy tundra, it also has a little-known desert in the southern interior of British Columbia. Just outside the town of Osoyoos, the landscape transforms into Canada's only true desert ecosystem, sometimes called the Pocket Desert. This arid region is part of the northern tip of the Great Basin Desert that stretches up from the southwestern United States. It receives less than 250 millimeters, about 10 inches, of rainfall per year, and summer temperatures can soar above 104 degrees Fahrenheit, making it one of the hottest and driest places in the country. The Osoyoos Desert is covered in sandy soils, rolling dunes, and shrublands dominated by antelope brush and sagebrush, creating an environment unlike anywhere else in Canada. This unique habitat supports over 100 rare plants and animals, including several endangered species such as the western rattlesnake, the pallid bat, and the burrowing owl. It's also an important cultural landscape, traditionally used by the Salish people who have relied on its plants and animals for generations. The area's dry climate has also contributed to the Okanagan Valley's thriving vineyards, making it one of Canada's premier wine-producing regions. 8. Endless forest. Blanketed by some of the most expansive forests on Earth, about 40% of Canada's total land area. This amounts to nearly 1.35 million square miles of forest, an area larger than India. The most famous is the boreal forest, which stretches in a vast green band from the Yukon all the way to Newfoundland. This boreal zone is one of the largest intact forest ecosystems on the planet, home to countless lakes, rivers, wetlands, and a rich variety of wildlife, including moose, wolves, lynx, and over 300 species of birds. Canada's forests aren't all the same, though. In British Columbia and along the Pacific coast, you'll find temperate rainforests where ancient cedar and Douglas fir trees tower over lush, mossy ground. In the east, mixed hardwood forests blaze with brilliant colors every autumn. These forests are not only critical for biodiversity but also play a huge role in the global climate, storing massive amounts of carbon and regulating temperatures. They support entire industries. Forestry is a cornerstone of many local economies and are central to indigenous cultures that have depended on the land for thousands of years. 9. The Trans-Canada Highway. Canada is home to the Trans-Canada Highway, one of the longest national road systems in the world. Stretching an incredible 4,860 miles from the Pacific Ocean in Victoria, British Columbia, to the Atlantic shores of St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador, this highway is a true engineering marvel. Construction began in 1950 and took more than a decade to complete, officially opening in 1962. Along the way, it crosses every province, spanning towering mountain passes in the Rockies, endless prairies, boreal forests, and rugged coastal cliffs. The Trans-Canada Highway is more than just a road. It's a vital link that unites a vast country. It connects countless communities and provides access to national parks, historic sites, and some of the most beautiful landscapes in North America. Travelers can drive past iconic landmarks like the Rocky Mountains, the Great Lakes, the rolling fields of Saskatchewan, and the dramatic coastlines of Atlantic Canada, all on a single continuous route. For many Canadians, the highway symbolizes both the challenges of building infrastructure across such a huge land and the shared sense of connection from coast to coast to coast. 10 more rivers than you can count. As a land of rivers, there are so many in Canada that it's almost impossible to count them all. From small winding creeks hidden in forests to some of the longest rivers in North America, these waterways shape the land and sustain life across the country. The Mackenzie River in the Northwest Territories is Canada's largest and longest river system, stretching 2,635 miles from its source in the Rocky Mountains, all the way to the Arctic Ocean. Along its course, it drains a vast basin nearly as big as Mexico, carrying meltwater, silt, and nutrients that support rich northern ecosystems. Other great rivers like the St. Lawrence, the Columbia, the Fraser, and the Yukon have been essential to Canada's history. They provided transportation routes for Indigenous peoples for thousands of years, and later became highways for explorers, fur traders, and settlers. Today, these rivers remain critical for shipping, hydropower, irrigation, and recreation. In fact, Canada holds about 9% of the world's renewable fresh water, and much of it flows through this immense network of rivers that wind through every province and territory. 11. Over 36,000 islands. Home to an astonishing over 36,000 islands, Canada's geography is incredibly intricate and unique. Many of these islands are found in the country's vast Arctic archipelago, a sprawling region in Nunavut that includes some of the largest islands on Earth, like Baffin Island and Ellesmere Island. Baffin Island alone is bigger than the entire United Kingdom. Off the Pacific coast, Vancouver Island and the beautiful Gulf Islands are famous for their mild climate and lush rainforests, while in the Atlantic, Prince Edward Island charms visitors with its rolling farmland and red sandstone cliffs. These islands are much more than just remote pieces of land. They are home to diverse ecosystems, unique wildlife, and rich cultural histories. Many Indigenous communities have lived on these islands for thousands of years, relying on the land and sea for food, shelter, and trade. Today, Canada's islands are vital for conservation, tourism, and the sense of adventure that defines the country's spirit. 12. Some of the best dark skies on the planet. Canada is famous not only for its landscapes, but also for having some of the darkest, clearest night skies in the world. Vast areas of the country are so remote and unpopulated that there is almost no light pollution, making them perfect places to stargaze and see natural wonders like the Aurora Borealis or Northern Lights. Places such as Jasper National Park in Alberta and Kejimkujik National Park in Nova Scotia have been officially designated dark sky preserves, where artificial lighting is strictly controlled to protect the natural darkness. On a clear night, you can see thousands of stars shimmering overhead, along with the Milky Way stretching like a glowing ribbon across the sky. In the far north, the auroras often dance in waves of green, pink, and purple, creating some of the most spectacular displays of natural light on Earth. For astronomers, photographers, and anyone who loves the night, Canada's dark skies offer an unforgettable experience. A rare chance to feel the same awe that ancient people felt when they looked up at an unspoiled, star-filled sky. Canada's geography is truly one of its most defining features. A vast mosaic of towering mountain ranges, sprawling forests, countless lakes and rivers, sweeping prairies, and frozen Arctic landscapes. From the low-lying coastal plains of the Atlantic to the rugged peaks of the Rockies and the remote tundra of the north, the sheer scale and variety of terrain are unmatched almost anywhere on Earth. These diverse regions shape the climate, ecosystems, and ways of life across the country, creating a land where extreme cold and warmth, lush growth, and icy stillness exist side by side. These amazing geography facts are just a glimpse into what makes Canada so unique and inspiring. No matter where you look, you'll find something that sparks curiosity and reminds you of the power and wonder of the natural world. Thanks for watching. If you find this helpful or have your own thoughts about Canada, drop a comment. We'd love to hear from you. And if you're curious about other places, be sure to subscribe. We'll see you in the next story.